Hey everyone, welcome to No Money No Honey. This is Dr. Love, and today I have a doozy for you guys. Again, get ready to have your mind blown because this is one of the reasons why I'm so against a lot of you making this move and taking on this Western women as potential mates. So today we're going to go over a Reddit reaction about a lady, 31-year-old female, married to a 34-year-old male, and I want you guys to give me your opinion as to what you would do if you were in this situation. So let's get started. She says we had not even a fight. It was him, 34-year-old male, complimenting the lunches his co-worker wife packs for him, which I, 34-year-old female, found disrespectful of him to talk to me about that. Typically, I like to go into this a little bit more before I say anything, but let's stop here. The fact that she had the guts to say she finds it disrespectful that he compliments the lunches his co-worker wife packs for him. His co-worker wife is a woman that has the audacity to care about her man and do something for her, while this useless broad decides it's a disrespectful thing that her husband will even have the gall to compliment somebody else's wife job, which means she's taking care of his wife. So let's see what she does. Okay. So first, she finds it disrespectful that he talks to her about that, but let's continue. So then she proceeds to say he asked why it's disrespectful, but stopped. So, of course, again, you can tell he's a beta male because he's afraid to go ahead and tell the truth. So instead, he's going to stay hungry and keep eating trash, right? And then she says, we went to bed soon after that. In the morning, while I was making breakfast and packing his lunch, I remember supposedly amazing lunches his co-worker wife brings and decides to be petty. Interesting. I didn't even do it fully out of anger, but it was a bit jokey. I thought, this would teach him to appreciate my lunches more, so she puts a diaper in his lunch box. I know it wasn't a full, it was a clean diaper that I balled up as if it was full. Wow. I have to chill for a second. Would you believe that? Would you believe that you are married to a woman, you're doing things for her, you're helping make her life easier, and then you show up to work, that your wife packed you lunch, you open up your lunch box, and there's a freaking diaper rolled up as if it's a dirty diaper in your lunch box. Wow! She did this just because he had the audacity to tell her that, listen, I like the way Bill's wife packs my lunch. And because of that, she decides to put a dirty diaper in his lunchbox. Why are you guys getting married again? It's a simple question. Why do you have the need to get married? Is it because you need someone to screw? Get a prostitute. It costs less. If her making you lunch and you even having the gall to talk about the lunch she makes you makes her so petty, she decides to put a diaper, makes it look like it's a dirty diaper in your food, why are you with her? And the worst part about this is if you divorce this woman, she gets half of your shit. Why? I just don't understand. I don't get it. Let's continue. Well, it seems I messed up majorly because he's extremely cold. What the fuck do you think, broad? What do you think, idiot? You think he's gonna be happy with you when he sees a diaper in his fucking lunch bag? Okay. So she says, first thing he asked when he came back from work is, do you feel avenged? You satisfied now? Laugh, go on. And then went to play with our daughter. Her respond, if I ask him something. He responds if I ask him something, which I have no idea why he does. Why did he not just divorce you instantly? Why did he not just walk away? Because men are so scared. That's why 80% of divorces are filed by women. If men had the gall to be like a woman does, clearly this man is not happy. But guess what? Men don't file divorces because they're not happy. Women do. Men don't file divorces because their woman, quote unquote, has one affair on them. Women do. Men don't file divorces because their women lose their job and don't have the ability to take care of the household anymore. Women do. So for some weird reason, this guy gets a diaper in his lunchbox, comes home, gets teased by his wife, and what does he do? Nothing. Just like every man does. Every man stays in relationships because they always think they can't find better. Sir, you can find so much better. This is by far the worst you can have. When you look back at this relationship 5 years from now, after you've moved on, I guarantee you're going to be so happy you did. I was once married to a miserable pathetic woman. Again, I'm not saying she was a bad person to other people, but in our relationship it was misery. And I am the first person to tell you that I was so happy that when I look back at that marriage, which was about 4 or 5 years ago, I can't imagine how lucky my life is and how happy I am that I got out of that marriage. You can have the same experience, but if you don't, that's your choice. You can stay in this marriage and continue to wallow and suffer. Meanwhile, you keep having diapers that look like they're dirty diapers in your lunchbox. What else is next? You walk in and see her sucking off on her boss's penis? And then you go in the other room and play with your daughter? Is that what we're turning into now? Is that how life is supposed to be? Come on, man. This is ridiculous. So she continues to say he responds if I ask him something, but doesn't look at me, let alone touch me. Why the fuck should he touch you? Who would want to touch a pathetic, gross thing like you? I bet you she's also obese. A woman like this is usually obese. You know why she's obese? Because she doesn't care about what the man wants. She has no desire to be fit, friendly, cooperative with her husband. She has no desire to practice anything that makes her a wife to this man. He has a baby with her, so by law, he's naturally going to make sure he can support his baby, which is fine because that's what child support would do. And then he's also probably going to have to take care of the household because she doesn't say he doesn't work. This is a man who actually actively goes out there, brings home the bacon to make sure the family can feed, and this is what he gets. You know what he gets for bringing home the bacon? He gets a dirty diaper in his lunch bag. That's what he gets. So you go to work, you deal with the boss talking crap about you. You're in a job that you hate, that you don't want to be there. And guess what you get for it? You get a dirty diaper. That's what you get. That's what you deserve, sir. So when you look at yourself in the mirror, when you ask yourself, what is it that I deserve out of life? What have I worked so hard for? Look in that lunch bag and realize that what you deserve was a dirty diaper, because that's what the woman you married thinks you deserve, and that's what she gives to you. And the fact that you continue to stay in that relationship and continue to deal with it tells me that you are not going to get away from it. Means that you feel like you deserve that, so you keep that around you, and you think that it's for the sake of your daughter. Forgive me for saying this, but to hell with your daughter. Because your daughter is not going to even give two craps about you when she's 14, 15, 16, because she's going to see the weak man that you are, and she's going to try to get a man who is completely opposite from you. And then that man is going to come in the house and he's also going to bully you, just like the broad you've had in your house your whole life. So guess what? You've been a punching bag for how long? For however long you're married to this ugly, grotesque, obese broad. You now become a punching bag to your daughter's boyfriend, and then you die as a punching bag. What a pathetic life to live. Sir, run. I have no idea why you're still in this marriage. But for the sake of this content, we're going to continue going. So she also says this morning when I was making breakfast, I went to pack his lunch. You should never have you've lost all privileges of packing my lunch the minute you put a freaking dirty diaper in my lunchbox. You lose all privileges of being close to me. You lose all privileges of even getting to be in my own space the second you put a dirty diaper in my lunch bag. But anyway, so she says she goes to pack his lunch and he took it from her. Absolutely. Good move, sir. But you should have walked away from the woman in the first place. And he told me he would rather starve than take anything I made again. Kudos. Finally. I'm so glad he said that. I'm so glad he actually grew some balls. He's not responding to texts like, have a good day. I usually send him. He doesn't deserve to respond to you. You're a ghost to him. You're just a womb that he used to have a child, and he needs to move on. And whatever that cost to that womb is, it's his consequence and it's his price. You get a woman pregnant, you have to pay $1,000 for 18 years, fine. It's the price that you have to pay to get away from that pathetic womb. You made a mistake, you dropped your seed in the wrong ground, now you have weeds that you're going to have to take care of for 18 years, and you take care of your weeds and hope they turn into good trees that bear fruit. But you walk away from that barren land, which is that broad that you wasted your seed in. That's exactly what he should have done, but he didn't do that. But for his sake, we're also going to give him credit that he's not responding to her text, and I hope what leads next is him leaving her ass. Anyway, so he proceeds to say, I just feel very down. Yes, you should feel down because you're pathetic. You should feel extremely down. She says, I know it was petty, but is he taking it a bit too hard? He's not taking it hard enough, man. Him taking it hard is walking away from you, leaving you in your misery so you can stay and you can probably lay on your back and let all the men that want to go ahead and stick this stuff in you, stick it in you. And if you happen to have multiple kids by a few of those men, that's your price. His price is to pay for the one that he made a mistake with you, right? Where he took you on as a mate, which is the biggest mistake of his life. And then he just has to pay for that until that child is old enough to take care of themselves. And you on your own, you should be left by yourself. So let's go ahead and look at some of these comments and see what some of these people are saying. It says, one person puts on here and says, you're training your husband not to communicate with you. I agree. Also, a compliment to somebody else isn't an insult to you. Time to grow up. 100% I agree. This is a 31-year-old female that thinks like a woman who's 3 or who is 1. Actually, a girl who's 3 or who is 1. Yes, you did have a fight. Your husband told you a piece of mundane life and you attacked him for it, and then you sabotaged his lunch. She is worse than that. She is extremely pathetic. Another person put on here, and I really want to highlight this comment because this is a very good one. It says, what the hell did I just read? You put a diaper in his lunchbox. Is that supposed to have been funny? Like, why did you put a diaper in his lunchbox? I don't understand. Exactly. It's like me going into the bathroom, taking a dump, and then putting the dump in my girlfriend's lunchbox or my wife's lunchbox because I'm upset with the things she told me, how another guy or somebody else at work has his wife or another woman shows up to work and her boyfriend made her lunch or brought lunch to her. And because I get so offended by the fact that another man makes his own woman lunch, I should get so mad that I should put something so disgusting in my woman's food. That's exactly what this woman is trying to tell you. So he said, this person also says, all he did was say that somebody else's lunch looked good. How is that disrespectful to you? Did he say that the lunches you made are bad? No, she didn't even say that. All he said was somebody else's lunch looks good. And she took it so personal, she decided to put a diaper in his food. You majorly overreacted. I agree. And probably embarrassed him in front of his co-workers. Overreacted if I stole co-workers and all the diaper. Weird as hell. Yes. And then that person also says, of course he's upset and not being his usual self. He didn't do anything wrong and his wife embarrassed him in front of his co-workers for no reason. Shouldn't you be happy that he's making his own lunches now? Now there's nothing for you to get back up over. He will make it himself. More than that, he should leave you. You've made him look like a fool in front of his co-workers. You've disrespected him for no reason. You've been petty. You're pathetic. There should be no reason. There's no reason for him to be with you. The longer he stays with you, the worse it is for him. You do understand that every day of your life goes back one day closer to death. But you know that there's going to come a time when you're going to die, and all you're going to do is waste the little time you have here with this kind of a person. Then that time of construction extends to you before your female or your spouses. The reason why that happens is because men are married to women like this. You work your ass off, you go into a job that you probably don't like, you get told all kinds of crap at work because, boss man wants to show he has authority because he's probably not getting any authority at home. So he has to show authority some way, somehow. The most dangerous man in the world is a man who his wife has complete control of his balls. So that man who has his wife has complete control of his balls has to try to show dominance some way, somehow to make himself feel better. So what that man does is that man shows up to work, and that man happens to have a title of a manager, and he's now going to take it out on you. So he takes out his frustrations on you, and then you go home and you're dealing with this miserable kind of woman. How are you not going to die sooner? Just tell me, how do you not expect to die at least 10 to 15 years before your time? Why do you think women live to 70, 80 years old, while most men die in their 50s and 60s? This is the big reason why. You have a miserable woman at home, and then you have no choice but to go ahead and deal with this miserable broad. And you want to know what the craziest part about this is? That a lot of you men haven't thought about? The craziest part about this is the day you pass away, in your 50s and 60s, in this case, this man is 34, she's 31. Let's assume this guy dies at 55. From being with this miserable broad, he spends the next 21 years of his life with her. So now he's 55 years old, he passes away. She is going to be 52 when he dies. You know what happens? She gets remarried. So everything you've worked for, that 401k, everything you did just to deal with this broad, you die, and so another man comes in and then he enjoys the last part of life with her. And all the while, you had every opportunity to say bye, bitch, to leave her alone, get the hell away from her, and make sure that you can at least get to enjoy whatever life you have left. No, instead you stick through this crap because people tell you that it's more honorable to stick through it because they use words like it's cheaper to keep her. Yes, it's cheaper to keep her if you want to go to the grave quicker. Absolutely, it's cheaper to keep her. It is cheaper to keep her if you want to get to the grave quicker. That's a Dr. Love saying, and we're going to always use that. It's cheaper to keep her if you want to get to the grave quicker. That's right. So if you want to get to the grave quicker, you stay on with that pathetic marriage. You stay married to that horrible ass broad. You stay happy. You stay in that relationship. Run around in circles hoping you can make her happy. Because no matter how much clown makeup you put on and how much you put that red nose on and you do all your backflips, she's not going to be happy with you. The vagina has no end. If it goes all the way, if that tube goes all the way to the mouth and goes right out, it has no end. So no matter how much you try to make her happy, you're going down a rabbit hole that's never going to get out. You're never going to get out of. That's a fact, fellas. So if any of you have any sense in your head, when you vet out the woman you're with, when you see she's this petty, because she didn't just become this petty today. She just become a person who puts a dirty diaper bag. Because guess what? She puts this out for the world to see, right? This is on Reddit. This is on a public platform. 1 million plus, probably way more than that, gets to see this. So the fact that she feels comfortable to express this to the world tells me there's been a lot more going on behind closed doors. And you've seen that, sir. You've dealt with that and you've kept quiet. And then guess what happens next? She does. She continues. It's like chopping a tree. You just keep hitting the tree in the same spot all the time, all day, all day, all day. And one day that tree falls over. You know why? Because she knows that she can just keep hitting you in the same spot over and over, just throwing petty stuff at you. And one day you're just going to topple over. And then she moves on to her next relationship by the guy who's going to promise her the world. And now she goes into her 60s, 70s, and 80s with a new man. And you are in the ground 6 feet under, while somebody else is raising your kids and being called papa to your grandkids. That's what happens to a lot of us men when you stay in miserable marriages. Leave, sir. If you are hearing this video, if you have any friends who get to hear this video, take it from me, run. Run as fast as you can. Run to make sure that your legs, the back of your legs hit the back of your ears. The underneath your feet should be smacking your ears. That should be how fast you're running. You should be running the heck out of there. Get the hell out of that marriage. Get the hell out of that relationship, and don't even wait a second. This is hell. There should be no man that should deal with this. 100%. You go through too much in life to allow yourself to deal with something like this. This is not some red pill content that I'm trying to spill out and say, hey, to hell with women. This is not a woman hating, a woman bashing experience. No, this is a life-saving and life-preserving, content. This is for you to look at yourself and say, I want to be able to live a little bit longer than what the average man lives for. So I must do what I have to do to make sure that I can do that. Or don't. Like I said, when you're 55 and you're 6 feet under, somebody else is going to be raising your kids and your grandkids. And then you can look back at this video, when your ghost can look back at this video and you can say, wow, I should have left that broad 20 years ago.